yeah, I take down the bad guys.
Well, in subsequent interviews today, Mr. Giuffre's brother, who you saw there, welcomed the King's decision, but he also said that further investigation into Mr. Mountbatten Windsor's conduct was needed. While the Trade Minister, Sir Chris Bryant, suggested that he should go now to the United States to answer questions from the Congressional Committee, which is conducting a probe into the crimes of Jeffrey Epstein. Let's speak then to the Democratic Congressman Jimmy Gomez from Los Angeles. He is one of the first Democratic voices to demand the release of the Epstein files and increased oversight of the case. Thank you very much, Congressman, for being with us. In reaction to what the Trade Minister Chris Bryant has said tonight, that the US side should look again at these facts, are you going to request formally that Andrew comes to the United States willingly?
I think that that's absolutely a step that we should take. And that's because we want to know from people that had direct knowledge of what happened with Jeffrey Epstein, his victims, who else was involved, and also a timeline. So calling on now just a regular citizen of the United Kingdom to come and testify, I think that's completely within the realms of possibility. And at the same time, we also want to call on Mike Johnson to swear in a new member of Congress, Adelita Grajova, who would be the 218th signature on what we call a discharge petition to require the Department of Justice as well as the FBI to release the files that deal with Jeffrey Epstein and what he did and everybody who was involved. So we need to tackle it in multiple angles, but we would love to have now Andrew Windsor to come and testify.
How much of the Epstein files that the congressional inquiry is looking at remains redacted? And do you think that some of that detail does refer to Andrew Mountbatten Windsor?
Well, one of the things that we did a motion within the Oversight Committee to get the Department of Justice to release some Epstein files. They were supposed to release all of them. They ended up only releasing what was already in the public realm. So we believe that there is a cover-up within the executive branch from releasing all the details and who's been involved. Remember, this is a president who campaigned on releasing the Epstein files to being transparent. Then all of a sudden, when he gets into office, he doesn't do that. He has a Department of Justice who is headed by Pam Bondi. For one day, she says she has the files, they're on her desk. The next day, she says they don't exist. So we believe that there is a cover-up, and we have to push to get more of those files released. But right now, this administration is doing whatever they can to ensure that that doesn't happen.
But maybe for Democrats, that starts closer to home. Maybe they have to be asking questions about the former President Bill Clinton.
You know, for us, the way we kind of look at it, let the chips fall where they may. This is about the victims. This is about justice. This is about restoring trust in our system of government. So Democrats, the way we kind of see it, whatever comes out, comes out. But the American people on both sides of the aisle are demanding it. And that's one of the things that people want to see in our country, is that the powerful and the elite and the well-established are not playing by a different set of rules, that we're all living under the same laws and the same standards, and are also held accountable when we misbehave or do something against the law or take advantage of victims. That's what the American people are demanding. So it doesn't matter if it's one president or another president. They want to see that the people who have participated to be held accountable and hopefully brought to justice.
You remind me of a comment I heard this morning on the radio from a former tabloid editor who said that the all-powerful, for once, had spoken out for the powerless. And that's certainly true, and it's rare in our society. Do you think that the King's decision, as belated as something it is now reshaping the debate in the United States?
Absolutely, because what the Americans see, or at least what I see, is the King of England who is taking a step to hold his own brother accountable. Your blood accountable. That is a big deal. Sends a big message that it doesn't matter if they're related or not, that if they're the eighth in line to the crown or not, that they're going to be held accountable in some form or fashion. So I do believe that his action is going to say, if they can do it in the United Kingdom, if the king can hold his own brother accountable, even if people say it's not enough or it's too late, then we should be able to do it with people who are supposed to be our elected representatives.
Jonathan Dimbleby was saying at the top of the programme, there are some things that are not in the King's power, and the investigation in the United States obviously is one part of that. Do you think there is further jeopardy for Andrew in the United States, or did that die with Virginia Giuffre?
I'm not sure exactly what the statute of limitations are, what else would put Andrew into any kind of legal jeopardy. But I do believe that people are going to take a harder look to see what those timelines are and if there's anything there that can actually be tied back, but also hold them accountable in the court of law.
Just while I have you, there is one other breaking story in the last hour. A federal judge in Rhode Island has blocked the Trump administration from halting food aid to 40 million low-income Americans. He's extended a credit line to Argentina. He's preparing to pay for the salaries of the military. Do you think the judge's order is right? And what would you say about his decision not to observe the SNAP payments?
Well, President Trump, in my opinion, has been operating outside the bounds of the law in the United States for quite a while on a variety of issues. And he also signals his priorities when it comes to policy and who gets the money. So when it comes to the SNAP benefits, he's letting them expire, even though there's $6 billion in emergency funding that he can tap into right now. He didn't need a court order, but the court told him he has to spend that money and deliver that money to the states. That's absolutely correct. But what people don't remember is that he doesn't care for working people in this country. He slashed $200 billion out of the SNAP program and other food assistance programs in his one big billionaire bill. Then he also canceled 92 million pounds of food delivery to food banks that would have been fed 12 million people in the spring. That happened in April or May of this year. So he's shown over and over and over again that he doesn't prioritize working people. And then at the same time, to add insult to injury, he gives $40 billion to Argentina to bail them out. And we know that it's not guaranteed that we're going to get that money back. So the president has consistently showed who he prioritizes, and it tends to be the well-connected, the wealthy, and the powerful.
Congressman Jimmy Gomez, it's been a real pleasure to talk to you. Thank you for coming on the programme.
Thank you for having me.